So the time has come for Storm Elf in Wizard 101. Now, for quite some time, the community has known that Storm Elf probably should not be on a storm, and there's a lot of the community that's been like pro Storm Elf and, not Storm Elf essentially. And in today's video, I want to talk about the, implications of this change and kind of talk about the Pandora's box that KingsIsle is opening by choosing to ban this spell. Now, if you guys have watched my channel for a while now, you know that I've been basically saying we should ban Storm Elf, but they have to ban it at the right time. Now, I will acknowledge the fact of the matter that things could have been worse. They could have banned it at a worse time in the past, so I can be a little thankful for that. However, this is going to open up, like I said, the Pandora's box of problems for this school. I think a lot of people will be happy about this, especially at the lower level leagues. However, at max level, it is going to take its toll on Storm and the state it's in the meta. So in today's video, we're going to dive deep into the Storm Elf ban and talk about what's going to happen and how it's going to affect the meta going forward here. So, Storm Elf being banned, first things first, means that people are going to lose probably pages on pages of pets, and a lot of people had to raid for the Storm Melody Dragon. Now, I'm hoping that they could maybe replace the Storm Melody Dragon with like a different item card, something that's like useful and good. I think that'd be cool. Also, now that Storm Elf is gone, this is going to change every matchup in the game. So I'm going to talk about essentially the, general DNA of Wiz PvP. Obviously, everyone packs shields, right? Shields are just great, and set shields in particular, indirectly, pre-Rochambeau, have always been really good against Storm. And it's no secret, if you also understand Rochambeau now, Storm is supposed to be weak against shields. However, this rationale falls apart when you actually look at the philosophy of the game. Every school should equally hit and damage each other equally. Same thing with shields. So to say that this is okay because Storm is supposed to be weak against shields is a bad take, simply because a school should not just lose because of that idea. It's stupid. Every hit through shields open should proportionally trade. If not, that's a game design problem and the game is unbalanced. Next up, I want to talk about Storm's dueling fire because they already do that because shield gambits are OP, but now that Elf is gone, it's simply going to nerf the catch of the day Elf combo, which was obviously making Storm as good as it could be. Now, to my knowledge, Catch and Elf are not going to be getting nerfed in the same update. It'll be different updates, and to my knowledge as well, Cam did go on record and say that Storm Elf is not going to be getting changed this update, so it'll probably be in the next one. So if I really had to guess, I think we'll probably see Storm Elf be banned in spring and Catch nerfed in like summer of like next year. But yeah, now it costs you 6 pips to remove 1 0 pip set shield. And that is just a horrible, horrible deal. If the Fire Elephant actually did like 2000 damage as a 6 pip hit should for a Storm, I wouldn't really be complaining about that, but well, it doesn't, even with the dual school buff. And that speaks into the larger issue of the fact of the matter that Storm is the only school in the game that cannot dual school as efficiently as the 6 other schools in the game can currently present day. So that speaks into that issue. So that kind of gets dismantled right away. But the next issue is, oh, well, just run Fire Elf, right? Fire Elf is a lot better on a Storm this update. I'm very, very aware of that. However, the problem with Fire Elf is you're essentially just shattering a shield for, I mean, I guess you're doing a little bit of damage, I guess, right? But you're also risking the Elf getting countered instead of just shattering the shield. And the reason I say it's shattering the shield, because once you Fire Elf a set, they just set again, and what you just invested into that entire turn of tempo doesn't matter. They keep gaining pips and they keep gaining power over you. So eventually, if you keep Fire Elfing their set shields and all, you're not really going to get anywhere. And even though you're a Storm, they'll have way more pips and way more tempo to just out-trade you and kill you before you kill them, because they're gaining tempo with the set shields and you're not gaining really anything for just knocking it off, staying at the same pips. Now, in some scenarios, that might be okay. Like if you're already at max pips and you're spamming Elf, yeah, that's probably good. But generally, if you look at a matchup like Stormburst Death or Stormburst Myth, right? Like the Shield Gambit, they just do it every turn. And yeah, if you do counter them early on, you're staying at like probably like 6 or 7 pips a whole game as a Storm. They can just base shin you and out trade you, or just go ahead with the tempo and win the game after the shields being 0 pips alone. And in those matchups, especially the Myth one, this is a huge, huge nerf to Storm, because now no longer can you actually do a lot with the elf, and the catch combo gets significantly gutted. But my point is, because of how OP shield gambits are, if you simply keep fire elfing the shield off, or the 0 pip set shields in general, in any matchup, by the way, not just Myth, Death, a life doing this, or anything like that, a bounce doing this, they are going to gain way more tempo because they are gaining pips while guaranteeing that they stay protected. Also, Fire Golem is extremely good against Storm as well, right? And Storm Elf was kind of keeping that in check. People would still shield every turn, Golem every turn with Storm Elf in the game, right? But now, with it being gone, that problem is about to get 10 times worse, and I want to say Fire is going to be a little bit better against Storm this update, aside from the Storm Elf ban. But with the Storm Elf ban, Fire, it might even be a 50-50 now, but I'd probably still say like 60-40 in favor of Storm. But it's not as one-sided as it used to be. So you're gonna see Storm struggle a little bit against a Fire. You're gonna see Storm struggle a little bit against Life now, because Life is just a really good school, and Storm Elf was stopping Life from being really good because they shield every turn with sets, right? And then on top of that, just every school that shields, which is everybody, is going to be better against Storm. So that's balance, life, fire. I mean, obviously the counter matchups, like. So I'll be completely honest with y'all. I think this is going to be the last patch, the last update where Storm is going to be playable for like another probably like year or two, I want to say, right? Because we just came off of being like unplayable for about 3 years straight, roughly, like 2.5 years, I would say. But after they nerfed like Catch and Elf, y'all, it's wraps for the school. So I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If you're a Storm main right now, start leveling up a Myth and a Fire for when these changes actually happen. I'm just mentally preparing you guys. I've been kind of like mentally checking out of this school because the identity is just completely out the window. Myth still has Storm's identity, which is really, really dumb. And then these nerfs are just like taking away so much out of Storm, right? Like Storm being the pressure school, all you have is Catch. Catch is getting nerfed. Elf being good at pressuring, Elf is gone, as it should be, right? I completely agree with that. But like there's no point to play a Storm over like a Myth or a Fire once these nerfs all go through, is my point. So if you are a Storm main, or you want to get into Storm, just be aware, this is probably the last patch where your school is going to be playable and actually have some skill expression to it. And after that, I think it's just time to jump ship, bro, honestly, entirely. And I know I'm like the Storm guy saying that, but I'm being real with y'all. Like there's genuinely no point to play this school when a school like Myth is right in the game right now. Even Fire is going to get really good in a future update as well. Fire's not terrible right now. So yeah, I mean, and a lot of people are probably wondering what the next best pet is going to be on a Storm. I think Elf being gone does open up the door to like run some cool strats, like maybe a set bonus frill. We've yet to see that on a Storm, but you might see Beetle Pet. I think Beetle Pet might be good with a bit of pip conserve, and now that you can buff up like your fire hit with the Beetle Blade, might be decent. And yeah, that's everything I got for the video, y'all. It's certainly an update. It's certainly a gig in there for Storm. Basically, every matchup in the game is going to have a significantly better chance against you now, because everyone sets shield spam against a Storm, which has just been effective for years on end. You know that if you do Wiz PvP. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Take care.